What's up, guys? Little from XS here. I want to apologize, for these crappy videos. I'm sitting in the Luna Lounge, which looks great, by the way. So, check this out. So I got the chairs that I built myself. I need to get a center table, but I got the IKEA table and the TV. And on this wall, there's aircraft art. On this wall, there's the murder wall. But I still haven't built my desk. So I don't have a place to set up my computer to do actual real videos, which I'm hoping I can do soon, at least within 2 months or so. But the regulator, he's not the regulator, his name's Regulator, commented, and I never commented back. I kind of feel bad about that, and I just did. He posed a great fight for an argument for Ben Askren fighting. Oh, we just lost the camera. Ben Askren fighting Darren Till. I have my phone set up on my remote right now so that it kind of looks normal. But he said that he thinks that Ben Askren should fight Darren Till because they have had words in the past. Ben Askren said something like, I can't remember what it was, but it was basically Ben Askren after the fight against Jorge Masvidal, which just beat Ben. Ben commented on that fight to Darren Till and said, you suck, basically. And then he did the boom roasted thing he's been doing. But after Ben Askren's loss to Jorge Masvidal, Darren Till said, hey, man, it happens. You'll get better. It was crazy that Ben was kind of a jerk on social media, and Darren Till was nice to Ben, which Darren Till, I'm not going to say he's a mean guy, but he seems kind of cold-hearted. He usually says things because he's trying to hype himself up. He says I'm the best in the world. I'll beat this guy. I'll beat that guy. All that. But I did not think, which the regulator said, he commented on my last video, I did not think about Ben Askren versus Darren Till. I feel like that will be the next fight they will do. It's really the only fight that makes sense. Both of the guys are coming off of losses to Jorge Masvidal, and I think it's the fight that makes sense because Darren Till is insane at stand-up. He is great. He has extremely good stand-up. Jorge Masvidal has good stand-up, and Darren Till managed to drop Jorge Masvidal, which I can't remember if he rocked him or dropped him or Jorge slipped. I'm pretty sure he dropped Jorge Masvidal in their first fight and then got a little cocky, and Jorge capitalized on that. But both of those guys are coming off a loss to the same guy. It's seriously one of those things that it makes sense for them to fight each other. Because Darren Till, if I remember correctly, he's decent on the ground, but he's much better at stand-up. I don't know a whole lot about Darren Till. I'm not a big fan of his. I feel like he's kind of boring. I like MMA fighters who can talk a big talk and who can get it done in the ring. And Darren Till doesn't really talk a big talk. He's not really flashy. He does talk smack, but he's not really flashy outside the ring. He's kind of boring to me. But in the ring, he's great. Sometimes I feel like the fights that I have watched him in, I feel like he doesn't pull the trigger enough. I feel like he knows he can beat these guys, but he kind of does what John Jones does. He just coasts to get the win. But that's a great matchup. Because at this point, what I said to Regulator is that I hope Ben Askren will start training in some sort of boxing defense or striking defense to where he can build his game up to where he can defend himself on the feet in order to get it to the ground. Whereas Ben looked ridiculous versus Jorge Masvidal. He looked ridiculous versus Robbie Lawler. He looked ridiculous. All he wanted was the takedown. Both of these guys knew that, and they destroyed him. Ben got destroyed in the Robbie Lawler fight. Even though now, I still believe that Robbie lost because people have changed their minds so many times on this, and Robbie, why he would just drop his arm, a lot of people say it was to conserve his energy. He just dropped his arm because he wasn't going to fight against it. I think that's bull. I think he went out for a split second, and then once the ref said, hey, that's it, Ben let off, and Robbie came back too, but was fine. Like in a split second, he's out, and he lets go, and he kind of comes back, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? Because if you know anything about getting choked out or getting knocked out, you don't remember, a couple seconds before, so maybe Robbie didn't know that he was out. But whatever, I still think Robbie lost that fight, even though Robbie was caving Ben Askren's head in, and I think at points Ben Askren was also out in that fight. But that aside, I feel like that is the fight to make. Ben Askren, because Ben Askren is still a big draw. People still want to see him because he's so dominant on the ground. He's like a Khabib. Once Khabib, which, I mean, I don't consider Dustin Poirier a excellent striker. I mean, he got knocked out by Conor McGregor, who's I wouldn't say an expert level striker, but he's so dynamic and creative that he can just make up whatever he wants to in the fight. He used to be able to do that. Current day Conor, I think he looks for that left hand a little too much. But Dustin Poirier got knocked out by Conor McGregor, who got outstruck by Khabib with that one punch, but still, somebody who's a striker should be able to see a wrestler throwing an overhand right or whatever he threw. So I don't think Dustin Poirier is going to be able to take out Khabib. I'm pretty sure Khabib's going to smash Dustin Poirier. But people want to see those guys who are dominant in one area, like Ben Askren, like Khabib. They're so dominant in one area of the game, and they're not great at other aspects of the game. They want to see those guys face the highest level. Like, I want to see Ben Askren face the highest level striker. And Darren Till really is up there. I think Darren Till is a better striker than Jorge Masvidal. But I think Jorge just somehow managed. Jorge Masvidal is an insane striker, but he somehow managed to come out of that fight with a win. But I want to see, like I said, Khabib, but I didn't mean to say that. I want to see Ben Askren fight Darren Till so that he can face the greatest striker in the game. And hopefully, I want to see him come out with a win. Because I like Ben Askren. I like how he talks. He's in social media all the time. He's on interviews all the time. Whereas Darren Till, Jorge Masvidal aren't. They're not really accessible to the fans like me. Whereas Ben Askren is very accessible. So I want to see Ben Askren. I would love to see that matchup. And I want to see Ben Askren beat Darren Till. Whether he can or not, I don't know. And on the other side with, I brought up Khabib. Yeah, I want to see an insanely great striker go against somebody who can stuff the takedown, humiliate Khabib, because a lot of those wrestlers, once their takedowns start getting stuffed, it's very embarrassing for them, and they freeze up. I don't know if Khabib will do that, because I don't really know if anybody stuffed Khabib's takedown all that much. I know that Alaquinta did really well against Khabib, and Alaquinta is he's mainly a striker. I know he wrestles and all that, but he's mainly a striker, and he did really well on a short notice. But I would like to see these guys who are so good. It's like Anderson Silva was so amazing at striking. Possibly the greatest striker in the game of all time. And then once he fought Chris Weidman, who was a great wrestler, he just kind of made Anderson look dumb. I like seeing that. I like seeing somebody who's so great at one thing get beat by a guy who's great at another thing. But I also like seeing the comeback. Whereas Ben Askren right now, he's got a bad loss on his record. Getting knocked out by a guy he talks so much smack to. I think that he needs to semi-avenge himself by going up against another insane striker in Darren Till, a better striker than Jorge Masvidal, in my opinion. I think he needs to go up against him and dominate him. And I'm talking about dominate him. Be able to strike with Darren Till, take Darren Till down, and just dominate him. Because I think that would put Ben Askren back in the top 5 title talk. What happened? Something just went off. My camera kind of faded, but whatever. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. Regulator, thanks for that comment. It made me really kind of think about it. I'm not going over 10 minutes because I hate doing that. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. Check me out, SoundCloud, Askren, Twitter. Like always, check me out on the streets.